Hi, I'm Chris Paul, and I work as a counsellor with individual adults in the Hungerford and Marlborough area, though I also work by telephone and Skype with people further afield. And I thought you might like to have a few basic questions about counselling answered. So here we go. One thing people often ask me is, what is counselling? And essentially it's a safe, confidential relationship in which we explore issues that you bring with the aim of working through and exploring difficulties that you might be experiencing in your life. And often people will ask me, well, what sort of counsellor are you? And I think what they mean is, do you have a specialism? Do you work specifically with certain difficulties? And apart from the fact that I work with adults and individuals rather than couples or young people or children, the only way I can answer that is I work beyond specialisms, often at what I would call a deeper level, which is not to say other counsellors don't, but my field would look at something like, say, an eating disorder or an addiction to drugs or alcohol or sex or something else as a symptom. And my work would seek to look beyond that symptom to find out what was going on that might be causing it. So, if you like, I wouldn't be treating. I'm not trying to make you better. What we'd be doing together would be looking at, well, what's causing these things and difficulties in my life? What's causing these things to happen? And then through exploration and understanding, seeking to find a way through that. Now, this is not to say that we're not looking to deal with the issue that you're bringing. We very much are. But it's a case of, rather than saying, yeah, here's the difficulty, do X and Y and it'll be fine, it's actually looking at things at a much more fundamental level than that. And this can take time because we'd be working with things which are largely unconscious, seeking to uncover those and see how they influence your life. So that sort of work at depth with the unconscious, that's the type of counsellor I am. Now, if you are looking for, say, stopping smoking or pain relief or something which is actually, you want to say, this is all I want to do, I just want to stop this, I don't want this to feel this, then I might refer you to someone who specialises in that sort of thing. If you might say, I have difficulties managing my anger, well, we can work on that and we might look at what's beyond that, what's behind that. If you simply want to manage your anger better, well, I might recommend coaching, which I also do, in order just to come up with a way of handling that and managing something in the short term without necessarily looking for longer term change and what's underneath it, which is a perfectly acceptable way of going about things. So how would counselling actually help you? Well, part of it is very much about raising awareness, because once you are aware of what's going on, perhaps unconsciously, you can make different choices. And that's also about resilience, and resilience here is not about just putting up with stuff, it's about creating enough resilience to make the space to, rather than immediately trying to get away from whatever's troubling you, from anxiety, from depression, from grief, to actually experience it long enough to think about what's going on here, what choices might I make? Yeah, if I can give an example, you feel something uncomfortable, you have a glass of wine. Doesn't do anything about what's uncomfortable, alleviates the symptom. Building resilience means you feel something uncomfortable, you sit with it, you think about, why am I feeling uncomfortable? And maybe you're then able to do something about it other than just pick up a glass of wine. It eases symptoms. That's absolutely what we're about. If something is troubling you, I can help you move through that and find out what's going on and work on ways that fundamentally that will change. That brings me to one of the big things about counselling. At its best, it's quite long-term work, but it's about total change. Not just moving the furniture around so that things are a bit better, things are a bit different, it's a bit new, a bit more interesting. No, it's about actually looking at the fundamental drivers of your life, who you are, what you want, what's going on for you, and again uncovering the unconscious, and that can actually lead to some quite profound and quite deep changes, which sometimes can be scary. But that's part of the work that can be done longer term. Now, that's not to say that a shorter course of counselling doesn't benefit, because it does. In the short term, counselling is very good at alleviate immediate distress. But in the longer term, if you want to get underneath that distress so that you don't get recurrences, it doesn't happen again, it doesn't keep troubling you, you're not simply managing it, you're perhaps being able to change and move beyond it, that can take a longer period of time. Is it for you? Well, there are a few people who counselling doesn't benefit, and that's perhaps because it's not quite the right time for them, or it's not the right sort of thing for them. And that's fine. Often it's necessary to look elsewhere in that situation. But for the vast majority of people, counselling can be very beneficial, both at the level of relieving symptoms in the shorter term and in the longer term, looking at more fundamental change, having a more fulfilling life, exploring and experiencing who you are much more fully through the raising of awareness and the raising of consciousness. If this sounds interesting to you or useful to you, then give me a call. My number is on the page, so I look forward to hearing from you.